In September 2015, a new organisation opened at the Walled Gardens in Moreton, Dorset, England. Founded the year before, this organisation was designed to be a special educational needs and disability provision to help empower young people with special educational needs to gain the skills and confidence to gain employment. This organisation? Employ My Ability. To explore EMA's so far 4-year history, let's go over to some staff who have been working at Employ My Ability from the very beginning and ask them about their experience.
When we very first started, we opened up our doors to 4 education students and 3 or 4 social care students. We offered them functional English and maths. We offered them work experience in the cafe, in the gardens, along with a vocational qualification. We had our 3 classrooms. The site looked completely different than it does now. Much of the development hadn't happened. We just had the main 3 classrooms, and that's where all the learning happened, and the small cafe.
With a small kitchen out the back.
Yeah. So it was all very, very small.
Yeah, the family area was a storage area for caravans.
Yeah.
The kitchen area was still full of brambles, and we had a few pigs going through it at the time.
Yeah,
so
the garden cottage, as what we're in now, was actually a house that belonged to somebody else, so that wasn't part of what we had. We didn't have the common room, the polytunnels were uncovered, everywhere was a bit unloved and overgrown when we first started.
When I first got here, it was before the students started. That was in May 2015, and the site was kind of a little bit overgrown, lots of kind of work to do, especially in the kitchen garden. The classrooms were being built, and they used to be old potting sheds, so they were kind of being renovated into what are now the 3 classrooms. And there were a couple of students who were here on work experience, and then they kind of, as we got to September, more students came along, and we had about 10 students in the first year. So it was the beginnings basically, and there was a lot of work to do.
Well, EMA was a relatively small place. Essentially what it was, it took over some old barns nearby the Walled Gardens. It was all basically one small training centre. There was about 10 or 15 students, I think, probably the same number of adults as well, unless I'm wrong, which is very possible. And the courses were not really that many, I don't think. So yeah, it was a pretty small place.
Well, I'm the managing director, so I have oversight of all the different aspects of Employ My Ability, so the education, the retail and catering, the commercial aspects, and the adult social care. So I work with Jackie really closely, and kind of work with the rest of the senior management team just to kind of make sure that the Employ My Ability moves in the right direction, that we kind of set projects and complete projects, and we keep on moving forward.
And I started as the head of operations, so I was involved a lot of the setting up of EMA, and since then my role's developed into looking after the education side of Employ My Ability as well. So I oversee all the tutors and the courses, I make sure that all the exams happen, I make sure all the students are safe and happy. So I guess my role is kind of, it reaches around quite far at EMA, and then I work closely with Steve, and then I also work closely with the senior management team.
My job at Employ My Ability, I came in as head gardener, and now I am estate manager, so I lead the team that deals with looking after the gardens and maintaining not just the gardens but any other properties we've got as well. So it's developed into leading the 2 teams.
I'm the official videographer at Employ My Ability. I make the videos for their YouTube channel. Considering my passion for making YouTube videos, it was all my idea, and I thought it was great, and it's been going strong ever since then. I enjoy filming the students doing work. I enjoy filming the changes that have happened at Employ My Ability, and making videos like this is just absolutely great.
Ladies first.
I'm biased because I absolutely love Employ My Ability. I loved it from the minute that Steve phoned me and said I've got an idea, and I drove all the way here and got out of the car, and I fell in love with it the minute I put my foot on the ground, and that was when it was a shell of what it is now. My favourite thing is watching the students develop. It's been why I based my career in this environment. Watching our students leave with the qualifications and the skills to go into a real work placement will always be why I love this job so much, and why it's challenging, the job that we do here, but it's really worthwhile, and our students make each day so different and varied, and watching them fly is really all I've ever wanted to do with my career.
Yeah, me. Challenging and exhilarating, like riding a wild horse. It's been amazing. It's been hard work, lots of dedication, some really big downs and some amazing big ups, but to see the students thrive, to see the successes we've had, it kind of just makes it all worthwhile. And the hard work's been definitely worth it.
I think so, yeah.
It's been really interesting. It's been I came here with it as an opportunity to develop the gardens, and that is developing all the time, and we've done a lot of work as a team, and also just kind of seeing all the students coming in and them developing as well, and kind of growing in their skills and their confidence.
Well, it's been a thoroughly enjoyable experience, seeing people be taught some lessons on how to get jobs, and the skills that they can learn smoothly through Employ My Ability, and especially for me, in terms of making the videos, when I first started, it was just me talking in front of the camera like I am now, to trying to be more professional and not have me seen on camera all the time, but include many different people, and it's just become more and more professional for me.
So it's changed considerably over the last 4 or 5 years. We now have the 2 sites. We've got the site here at Moreton, and we're supplying courses to 36
students. Yeah.
We may reach 40 by August.
Yeah.
We've now opened Thorngrove Garden Centre. We have our first real intake in September, where we'll be taking our first year of 10 students. We've grown our commercial activities, so in that essence we've provided a lot more places to gain work experience and gain the actual real work skills. We've increased our education team, the support team, the therapies. We're looking to kind of offer a more diverse course range.
Our courses have developed hugely. We're now offering from entry 1 up to level 2, which a lot of young people came to us at pre-entry, so we've been really successful at getting them into the entry levels, which is excellent. We've increased our teaching. We now have a lead tutor in place. We have hierarchies in all of our areas, so there's special teams in place. Adult social care has moved off-site to its own bespoke service, which has had a massive impact on them, and they've got their own team. So we've split our education and our adult social care team, which everybody used to be lumped together, and now they're all separated out. So that's been a huge piece of work, and that's really benefited everybody. The whole site has just developed massively. I'd say in the last year we've seen probably our biggest development from my point of view against the curriculum and what we're actually offering our students and what they're leaving with. The work placements that we're creating for our students, that's really developed. But our young people that are leaving in the next couple of weeks are all going into their work placements, which is really all we wanted to happen when that was the main idea of EMA in the first place. For the future,
projects going forward is the new cafe at Thorngrove, so going into the barn and open up a larger cafe there. Starting to plan for a new cafe and plant centre down in Moreton. We've got some other little civil engineering projects that have to happen at Moreton, where we've grown so quickly and have so many visitors. And yeah, I think just watch this space really.
Yeah.
There's quite
Continue
a lot
to
going
develop
on.
what we offer young people, be creative about what we're offering young people out there and make sure it's real. I think we're going to start a level 1 in retail this year, and all of our ICT qualifications are going to happen, and I just want to keep building on that momentum.
Create
and
a
those
larger
work
curriculum.
placements. Yeah, a larger curriculum so that young people have all of the places that they can, one, be educated, but more importantly the vocational settings where they can really use those skills, because that's where a lot of our young people gain the most from our setting. And Steve always calls it the incidental learning, and it is the incidental learning that means that when our young people go into, say, a coffee shop, they can use the proper coffee machine, they can have all of those skills, so that work experience placement is going to be more beneficial to them, and the skills that they're offering are the same that anybody else would be employed in those positions as well. So I just want to keep developing that.
Yeah.
The gardens hopefully are getting better. We're getting more plants into them, more diverse plants, so it's more interesting for visitors, and the students can learn a lot more because there are more varieties of plants. We've put in new areas in the gardens for kind of families and kind of people to buy more plants or buy ice creams, that kind of thing. So commercially it's changed and grown, and also the number of students we have here has grown, so that's brought the site alive. It's kind of buzzing with students and visitors, and that's a really good environment.
As I said before about the fact that we had only one compressed base with those renovated barns at the walled gardens, to make extra space we've got an extra base here down at the Mallards, and there is also a secondary provision, if that's the right word, in a place called Thorngrove in Gillingham. Yeah, I think it's the garden centre as well. So yeah, employability has got quite big, and now we're starting to see changes in terms of the courses provided and in terms of how they make the students learn the skills needed. So yeah, it is becoming bigger and bigger. Just play by ear. So with all that said, what is employability like now? Let's ask some of our newer staff members and students.
I love my job, employability. I'm a tutor for the Silver Birch Tutor Group, and I also teach English and maths and the girls for PHSE.
Well, I love working at Employability. I'm a learning support worker, so I work with the students. I think it's fantastic, it's a great company, and yeah, ever since I've started I've loved every single bit of it.
I love working at Employability, and my job, I'm a tutor and I teach work skills, PHSE, travel training and introduction to work. And I feel like I really make a difference to the students to help them get jobs, and we've got quite a few students in work at the moment, work placements, so it's going very well.
I love employability. I used to be a student here last year, but from February this year, after half term, I've now become a staff member, and I really thoroughly enjoy it. And the reason why I have stuck to this job is because I quite now like retail, and I'm in between the shop and the cafe, but mainly in the shop.
Yes, I do enjoy working at Employability, and I do the gardens and the cafe.
Originally I came just as a temporary cover teacher while my other job, some changes went on at my other job, and when it came to going back to my other job I decided I would actually like to stay here because the students are so lovely and the environment's so lovely, and I really was enjoying the job, so I'm really glad I stayed.
I joined here because I wanted a change. I worked in a residential home before, so I wanted to go back to education, which is my background work, and Employability was local. I'd never heard of it at the time, and when I looked it up, it's a great company, and I thought it was fantastic, and I just wanted to work here straight away.
I joined Employ My Ability in September 2016. I wanted to go into sort of care work, and I started as a learning support worker. And since then, as I said, I've become a tutor, and it's all going very well. So I've been in nearly 3 years now.
I have learning difficulties when I was a student, so they helped me along for that, and as I'm now a staff member, they are still helping me along through things, which is really, really helpful.
So I get the skills in the gardens and the cafe, like doing the mowing, weeding, what else? Cutting back, and doing the edging on the grass as well.
I think it's definitely getting bigger. We're giving more and more qualifications, more and more students passing maths and English exams and progressing on to the next level, which is great. And it's definitely developing much more of a college feel. People coming and going, and a nice busyness and an industrialness to it.
I'm hoping that as a company it will grow massively. I obviously work in the education side, and I've worked at this site here and I've worked at Thorngrove as well, and both are evolving hugely, and I would just like to see it keep growing and getting better and better.
Since I've started, Employ My Ability's grown a lot. We've got a lot more students here, and I see that carrying on. We've also got our Thorngrove depot now, which is going to get bigger and bigger, and I just see it getting bigger with more students, more staff, and a better quality of education and training for all the students that we have.
Probably changes to the gardens. We're already making changes to the garden shop here, making a bit more room, selling new things. It's a journey that I would like to see through.
Hopefully the grounds be kept well with other students would be the good idea actually.
So whatever the future holds for Employ My Ability, there is no doubt that EMA will almost certainly provide help to those with special educational needs and disabilities, and an ambition to be employed.